No matter what game mode you're playing, you are bound to find certain perks that just seem incredibly useless. Of course, sometimes they are based off personal opinion, and other times they are just factually bad, but no matter what, there are some perks that you just should not waste your coins on, which is why in today's video I will be going over 10 of the most useless perks in Hypixel Skywars. But first, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to see all the videos on this channel as quickly as you can. Big shout out to Cody for being the first comment on my last video. You are part of the notification squad and I highly appreciate you. Now let's jump into my list. Instant Smelting. This is one of the oldest perks in Hypixel Skywars, which means back when Skywars was just a baby, I could see this perk being very useful because of how people played the game. However, nowadays, playstyles are drastically different, and this perk isn't really needed anymore because people just don't mine ores. And to be completely honest, I cannot remember the last time I actually mined an ore block in solo or teams, which is why this perk has made the list. Marksmanship. This perk allows you to increase the power level of your bow after every 2 kills. Now you would imagine a perk that makes the power enchantment on your bow basically limitless would be highly sought after, however that is not the case. When playing Insane mode, you will almost always get a power 1 bow in the first few seconds of your game, and then shortly after you are bound to find a power 3 and then a power 5. So if you increase the level of your bow before getting to that power 5 bow, then you'll end up throwing away whatever power level your current bow is and making it worthless. I'd imagine many of you never even noticed this perk actually get activated, which is why it has made this list. Rusher for Mega. When maxed, this perk gives you 15 seconds of speed 1 right when the game starts, which normally would be really effective and massively help out the rush heavy players. However, A, Mega is really dead, so I guess every perk isn't very useful anymore. B, if Mega does fill up, it's basically full of a lot of tryhards, which will not allow you to rush them because you will die instantaneously. And C, thanks to the most recent update to Mega, you get an island chest refill within the first few seconds of the game. So the new meta is to stay at your island to collect the brand new set of the refill and then finally go out and fight. And by the time that has happened, your 15 seconds of fame are finally up and you will no longer have that perk active for the rest of the game, which is why this perk has made the list. And I guess every other Mega perk as well, considering it's dead. Resistance boost and fat. I'm grouping these together because they were also a part of my 10 most underrated perks video. However, these perks have a very defined length of time, which means they become very map specific. So what that means is if you get on a rather large map with islands that aren't close together, or if you're a very defensive slow player, or if you aren't a fast bridger, then by the time you finally fight someone, the perk will have run its course and no longer be useful. So for that reason alone, they have made this list. Now don't get me wrong, these perks can be useful if you're a very fast-paced player, you can bridge very quickly, and you're on a very small map such as Shire, but given the nature of Hypixel Skywars and how the maps are being built and how all of the maps are currently built, these perks are most likely not going to be useful 9 out of 10 times, which is again why they made this list. Arrow recovery. When maxed, this perk will statistically give you an arrow back on your 4th bow hit. Now of course this will not always happen, but it is the best case scenario. Now that in itself doesn't really sound all that appealing, but when you combine that with the fact that you are finding loads of arrows scattered throughout all of the chests on the map, it makes you realize the perk isn't very useful. Sure, there are some key instances where it can come in handy, but for the majority of the time, it's just not needed. Necromancer. The reason I'm including this perk in this list is based on popular opinion. I tweeted out asking people what they thought the most worthless perk was in Hypixel Skywars, and to my surprise, the majority of people said Necromancer because it constantly gets them killed, which I can agree with. I have had that happen to me in the past where you're trying to bow someone but the zombie walks in front of you, you're no longer able to kill that person with your bow, and then somehow in some way they end up killing you, or you cannot melee through the zombie that is your own, and then you end up dying with the zombie, which is just very unfortunate. So that is the reason this perk is on the list. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you agree with it. Knowledge. I wonder just how many people actually enchant and anvil every single game they play of Hypixel Skywars. And then I wonder how many of those players are using the Anvil class, which gives you XP. And then I wonder how many of those players are using the XP bottles they find in the chests that they loot throughout their gameplay. Basically what I'm saying is that there's an abundance of XP bottles on every single map in Hypixel Skywars, so having to buy or unlock a perk that just gives you a very small amount of XP per kill isn't the most useful thing in the game. Now again, if you're a very rush heavy player and you don't like to think or stop to actually put the XP on your body, then this perk can be moderately useful, but still, there is so much XP that is just giving to you in the chest that this perk is very much not needed. All of the ranked perks. This is a very interesting addition to this list that was suggested on Twitter, and I thought it was very funny, and it's also technically really true if you look at it in the way I'll be describing. So, ranked Skywars may not be something all of you guys play, but if you do play it, then you know all of the ranked perks are given to you for free. You do not have to buy them, which means all of them technically aren't very useful because everyone has it, and it's basically like they're not even there. It reminds me of the Incredibles quote from Syndrome where he says, when everyone's super, no one will be. So when everyone has the ranked perks, are they even really there? Like, there are no ranked perks, really. So it's an interesting way to look at it, and I thought it would be a very interesting addition to this list. Revenge. Normally they say save the best for last, but today we've saved the worst for last. This is a story of having everything you want but then losing it in a blink of an eye. The Revenge perk used to be one of the most underrated perks in the game, but then they updated Skywars and it got knocked right into the void along with so many hopes and dreams. This perk is classified as a legendary perk, which means you'll have to cough up some serious coinage to purchase it, and it just does nothing. It doesn't get extra health, it won't teleport all over the map with you like it used to, it doesn't deal more damage than a normal spider, and most of the time the person who killed you will keep swinging out of habit and insta-kill the spider right away. I truly am sorry to include this perk in this list, but it's also the reason I decided to make this video. So while we get closer to the outro, I will say my farewell to this perk. You will be missed, and I will always cherish the old days. But I no longer love you, and I'm sorry. And there you have it. Those are 10 of the most useless perks in Hypixel Skywars. Were there any that I missed? Did you agree with my list? Let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like and share it around to your friends. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to see more content. And other than that, I will talk to you all later. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out.